Hey, welcome back to Reading with John. I'm John, and I'm reading. First, I'm going to try to get out on the lake over here so I could be quiet and comfortable, because this is where Jesus would go whenever he had to get away from the crowds and get away from all the nerve-wracking. Let's get going. I'm still on chapter 2. And that would be, where did Margie? Oh, I forgot my specs. I'm gonna have to struggle now. So forgive me, I got no glasses on. But I got a nice view of the lake. Here we go. She woke up minutes later to slaps on her face while hearing Jose and Skittles shouting, "Margie, Margie, wake up." Quiet then filled the air as Margie slowly gained consciousness and her eyelids began to lift. Moments later, Margie, Jose, and Skittles found themselves sitting comfortably on the shore. They rested there as time slowly passed. In a whisper, Margie asked her friends, "What's going on?" Both cried out in laughter as Jose snickered. "Heck if we know, but it's been a nutty ride." She said in a grimmer voice, "Come on, what's going on?" "We don't know. We also have no clue where Lucas and Pitts are." Margie burst into tears, crying like a wee little infant, assuming she would never again see her family. Skittles lightly slapped Margie's cheeks to bring her back to reality while saying, "I'm not going to tell you everything will be okay, but everything will be okay." After pondering his most excellent wisdom, she began to calm down. She noticed a large battleship with colorful pegs sticking out of the porthole at sea. The floating vessel had already captivated the attention of Skittles and Jose. "Do you see it?" "Yes," said Skittles. "Scream!" "Yeah." "Scream! Help! Help! Help!" they yelled as loudly as possible. Echoes from their voices could be heard for miles over land and sea. The words and sounds from their voices became silent as they watched Mr. Bubbles form next to the ship. Then a large, moving yellow brick road broke out from the side of the ship. The walkway was heading their way as it jettisoned towards them. The water divided into two halves as those deafening words, "Hey Margie, hey Margie," once again returned. Only this time, the high screeching pitch caused all three characters to fall flat on their faces. They cried out in pain while cupping their hands over their ears. With the walkway now just feet from their heads, the sound faded. They slowly slid themselves onto the sturdy walkway, flat on their backs. The yellow brick road then began to move in reverse back towards the ship. Jose and Skittles stood up and ran in the opposite direction as Margie watched a massive hole opening in the hull of the ship. A suction so heavy pulled her body towards the hole, paralyzing her from head to toe. Immediately, the hole slammed shut once Margie was inside. She was captured and elevated by the tentacles of a gigantic octopus, then hurled to the deck where she was momentarily pinned down and set free. The octopus turned into an itsy-bitsy spider and went up the water spout. As Margie stood up, animals appeared everywhere around her. The room became loud, with elephants making trumpet sounds, ducks quacking, chimpanzees screaming, donkeys hee-hawing, hyenas laughing, pigs oinking, tigers roaring, and every other kind of living creature, all singing in perfect harmony. That beautiful harmony was not by accident, but by design. The designer was a maestro standing on the front deck and waving a little stick, conducting every sound those critters made. Margie had to make her way past large and small animals before she was able to reach and talk to the conductor. As the maestro was taking his bow, Margie grabbed the baton, broke it over his head, and said, "Where am I? And what is going on?" Stunned, with a surprised look on his face, the maestro said, "My name is Noah, and I was instructed to load this ship with every kind of animal on Earth." Margie said, "I'm scared, alone, and haven't a clue what's happening to me." "Calm down, Margie. I'll explain." Noah then went on to explain. "The Lord said to me, 'Go into the ark, you and your whole family, because I have found you righteous in this generation. Take with you 7 pairs of every kind of clean animal, a male and its mate, and 1 pair of every kind of unclean animal, a male and its mate, and also 7 pairs of every kind of bird, male and female, to keep their various kinds alive throughout the earth. 7 days from now, I will send rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will wipe from the face of the earth every living creature I have made. And I did all that the Lord commanded. And my entire family and I entered the ark to escape the waters of the flood. Pairs of clean and unclean animals, of birds and of all creatures that were moving along the ground, male and female, came to me and entered the ark, as God had commanded me. Then the Lord shut us in." He continued, "You, Margie, are the first outsider we have seen in months." Margie sat there pondering her situation, then watched as Noah, his family, and the animals all turned into tiny bite-sized animal crackers, being gobbled down by a blue cookie monster. Just then, the hole in the side of the ship reopened. Margie watched in horror as Jose and Skittles were launched through the air as their bodies slammed up against the bulkhead of the ship. Both were knocked out from the body bash. The impact released a large scroll stretching from the bulkhead to the deck. The title on the scroll read, "The Proverb Factory, the Beginning of Knowledge." The following inscription hovered over the scroll. "These are the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David and king of Israel. They will help you learn to be wise, to accept correction, and to understand wise sayings. They will teach you to develop your mind in the right way. You will learn to do what is right and to be honest and fair. These proverbs will make even those without education smart. They will teach young people what they need to know and how to use what they have learned. Even the wise could become wiser by listening to these proverbs. They will gain understanding and learn to solve difficult problems." The scroll stretched for miles as Margie had to crawl over what had now turned into an ocean full of jumbo beanbags. She tried getting to her feet while flipping and flopping before reaching the boys. Whispering in a tangible, corky voice, she said, "Jose, Skittles, you okay?" There was no answer from the lifeless bodies. Margie believed both to be dead, at the same time praying she was having a nightmare. She heard faint music playing on the other side of the ship's bulkhead, then noticed raindrops in different colored configurations sliding down the interior main beam of the ship. Each dot started to squeak out individual words as it reached her face. The first word squeezed was "welcome." The second dot squeaked the word "Margie." And the third, "to," and the fourth, "Prince Area." As baffled and mystified as she was, she found it humorous. The dots continued rolling down the main beam, but only now the dripping sounds were silent. One of the large pink dots dripped in slow motion and landed just next to her. The pink dot grew both in size and shape. It now looked like a pink basketball. Glancing down at the basketball, she saw two ruby red eyeballs pop out from the carcass of the leather ball, along with two dark purple lips. She continued looking down and saw the basketball staring back up at her. Margie politely asked, "What is Prince Area?" In a soothing, tuneful voice, the non-binary basketball said, "Follow me." Margie looked back at Jose and Skittles, only to find them still in their dead man position. Margie was then zapped with an overwhelming feeling of comfort and joy, so she followed the bouncing ball. Without indication or warning, the interior wall lifted skyward, then disappeared into the ceiling. The basketball then bounced itself and Margie into a gigantic, beautiful ballroom. Her eyes were fixed on the bouncing ball as she heard a symphony orchestra belting out many of her favorite tunes all at the same time. How she was able to hear all her favorite tunes at one time and enjoy each separately was beyond her comprehension. The gorgeous ballroom was crowded with thousands of guests sitting at long or exotic tables. They had every kind of gourmet food. Margie looked over at the basketball, hoping for a hint of what was going on. She watched the basketball deflate into a cranberry drink being sucked down by one of the guests. As the orchestra continued to perform and the guests continued to feast, Margie concluded that she was at some famous festival honoring a king or a queen. Margie walked around the room for miles while not a soul looked in her direction or spoke to her. It was as if she were invisible. With her favorite tune still dancing in her mind, there was an underlying current below the music notes that sparked familiar voices. Margie followed the voices, which she now recognized, and pointed her to the main banquet table. There she found Jose, Skittles, Lucas, and Pitts all feasting like emperors. Not even one of them looked up from the buffet to realize she was standing there facing them. Margie yelled at the top of her lungs, "You slobbering pigs!" This is where I'm going to leave off because it's getting a little bit dark out here. So I'll give you a little ride back to my house, or which way it is. Oh, nice out here. Yeah, imagine Jesus walked on the water. Isn't that amazing? If you're enjoying the book, please subscribe below to the YouTube channel here. See, I got my oars. That's what I'm oaring with. I'll give you a spin around. Look. I hope my camera don't fall off the boat. Okay, getting dizzy yet? Yikes. Okay, so I will see you guys next time. I may come back out on the lake. It was really pretty. So until then, God bless you, your family. I hope you get everything you want. Stay connected. Let the Holy Spirit do its thing in your life. And I will see you at the next reading.